Yeah, Oh my gosh. Yo. N- no. No, 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 no. No, I got it. No, it's fine. No, seriously. Okay. Hey guys, Shima here, and today we're going to be discussing a subject that I think is really important for most people to talk about. That it may not be really talked about much or not. So, first of all, what type of people are we talking about here? Okay, specifically, I think that's how you say it. I'm referring to fursuit makers. I think it's really important for fursuit makers to discuss this subject. So I decided as a fursuit maker to discuss this subject. What subject are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? Making fursuits. Particularly, I'm talking about 5 things you should consider before commissioning a custom suit. Okay, so a lot of people love fursuits and they want suits made, but they don't know how to make them. That's okay. I don't either. I didn't. I don't know. I didn't know how to make them, so I learned how to make one. And because of this, she exists. And all the suits behind me, all of these, yeah, I did that. Mostly, anyway. So the point is that a lot of you may be wanting a fursuit, but don't know what to expect when it comes to commissioning one, because it's not like you just go down to your local Walmart and then go buy one. It's not the same, especially if you want one that's custom colors. So what exactly do I need to expect when it comes to commissioning a suit? 5 things you need to consider before commissioning a suit. So first thing I want to talk about is that fursuits take a very long time to make. Now, I know this has been discussed a lot by a lot of people, but I wanted to explain it more from a personal view because today, unfortunately, I had to blacklist a customer. Yeah, I never thought I had to say that. It really hurt me. I wanted to use this situation as an example because I felt like maybe I did not explain the situation well enough to the customer, and this is why situations went bad. So, fursuits take a long time to make, and I mean a long time. Now, what do I mean by a long time? Well, for example, let's see. See these? Really cute, right? Really cool. These take more than 10 hours to make. Now, that's me personally. Some makers use sewing machines, so it doesn't nearly take as long, and it usually is higher quality. But for me, hand paws take a long time to make because you have to switch through several types of sewing methods. You have to go through embroidery, sometimes blanket stitch, and so forth to get it made. That can be pretty tiring mentally to switch between several different styles. So it takes me a while to make hand paws. Personally, I think a lot of makers can agree that hand paws take a while to make, and they're kind of hated. I mean, like, you enjoy looking at hand paws, but they take forever to make. So, that's all I was saying. Those paws took me several hours to make. And for me, 5 hours may get me a lot, and any other thing. 5-hour nap, shoot, that's amazing. 5 hours of anime, shoot, that's amazing. But 5 hours of fursuit making may not get you far. So, when I say that to say this, that fursuits take a long time to make. And something as simple as just paws or just a head can take a long time to make. So it's really important to consider that when it comes to commissioning, because you're commissioning or paying someone else to do it, and you may be excited and you're ready for it, but then it takes a long time to make. And so you're like, well, where's the progress pictures, or where's this, or where's that? So slowly roll and think about the fact that they take a long time to make. For example, this head has taken me 2, almost 3 years to finish. This is a personal suit, and she still isn't finished. Look, the back of the head is not done. Dude. But the point is that now, most people, first of all, let me clarify that most people are not going to take 2 years to finish a head, but because she's a personal suit and I didn't have the obligation to finish her, she's taking me forever to finish. Now, secondly, this one's kind of interesting to explain, but fursuit makers are not mass-produced companies, or they're not machines. Now, why would I say that? It seems obvious, right? It's obvious I'm human. See? But why would I say that? Well, what I mean by that is that today's world, we live in a very, very fast-paced world. So sometimes we tend to expect things a lot quicker. This kind of goes hand in hand with the first point about fursuits taking a long time to make, but it comes from more a human standpoint of the fact that fursuit makers are not machines, in the sense that every single minute they're existing is not going to be spent on making a fursuit. Which means that as a buyer, customer, you need to be okay with the idea of your fursuit maker working on other orders or just living their life. Money to make a fursuit, you need to have a certain amount of professionality to it. I personally do not agree with or think it's a good idea to work on a personal suit while you have a bunch of commissions stacked up, and I usually don't like to work on personal suits until I've made good progress on a commission. At the end of the day, these people paid you, and usually it pays you a lot of money to make this for them. So show some consideration by making sure you get it done. So that's something that is really important, though, that I think is really needs to be emphasized, that fursuit makers are not machines, and their only job is not to work on fursuits. As a matter of fact, I know several fursuit makers that actually have in-person jobs, like clock-in jobs, and they also have the fursuit making. Me personally, I literally just graduated this year. Like, literally just graduated from high school this year. I mean, fursuit making, some people do it full-time, while others can't see themselves doing it full-time. So because of that, they tend to pick up another job, which is fine. And you need to make sure that you're okay with that, because of the fact that it's just natural. I mean, you don't always, well, maybe, I don't know. The market's pretty rough right now, but usually you'll see different types of workers at Walmart. You won't see the same exact worker every single day, because of the fact that they switch out because they have the rest of their life to live. So please keep in mind that fursuit makers have a life, and they're not machines that are dedicated to making fursuits. Fursuits have personality and love put into them that machines just cannot do. So that is something to consider when it comes to getting a fursuit. Number 3, fursuit making can be dangerous. It really can be dangerous. Fursuit making can be dangerous, and when it is, I should say that point 3 is fursuit making can be dangerous and exhausting, because people think, oh, well, if this is something that you love so much, that why not do it all the time? Kind of like point 2, fursuit making is a lot, and it also is slightly dangerous in a lot of ways. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of soft objects. You're dealing with, some people use X-Acto knives, and some people use Dremel tools, sanding. You also got hot glue guns, which I have hot high temp ones, which means that I get burned very frequently. Secondly, you have pet clippers, usually used to shave fur. They are dangerous more than one way. You can also clip yourself, but you could also breathe in the tiny particles that come from the fur, which is really, really, really dangerous. Please wear a mask if you're a young fursuit maker or an experienced fursuit maker, or maybe you watch this video and you decide, nah, I'm gonna make fursuits myself. Please make sure to wear a mask when shaving fur, and not just any mask, but like at least the N95 grade mask, because those particles can get in your lungs and mess you up. It's a lot of energy to constantly have to work on a fursuit, clean up the area, because fursuit making is a delicate balance between being organized and the creative process. Because let's say I'm working on a bodysuit. I'm working on a bodysuit and the customer wants the belly shaved, or let's say they want the outside of the suit shaved and then the belly fluffy. If I shave a bodysuit, I'm going to need to keep the area where the fur is dropping clean, because, well, obviously, because of the fact that the fur can look or appear thick, and I could step on things that could, impale my foot, but also because of the fact that the more the particles collect, the harder it is to clean up. So it's important to clean up while you're working on the suit itself. Not only this, but also fursuit making needs to be organized to a certain degree, because of the fact that, let's say you try to put a head together let's say you're putting a head together like this. The eye. Notice here how she has several markings at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 markings on one side of the face. And in order to put this together successfully, you're going to need to lay out the markings in the order that they need to be sewn together, and you need a clear space to do that. So fursuit making takes a lot, like a lot, y'all. I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm able to do this. It's get tiring sometimes. It's take a lot of energy and a lot of organization to be able to make them. First, we learned that fursuits take a while to make. Second, we learned that fursuit makers aren't machines. And third, we learned that fursuit making is dangerous and exhausting. And we may not, work on them all the time because of that. Okay, well, I said 5 points, didn't I? I said 5. So, what's the fourth and what's the fifth? Alright, y'all. I will really need you guys to pay attention on this one. Number 4. Ready? Fursuit makers have health issues. That's not overgeneralization. Like, I know a lot of fursuit makers that have some sort of health issues. And oftentimes, these health issues will interact with the fursuit making world. Like, for example, I have to be a lot more careful with wearing my suit for how long I wear it because I have asthma. And not only that, but shaving fur too? Yeah, I have to be really careful with this fursuit making because of my health issues. And you have to keep in mind, these people may not be without health issues, and they may have a lot of health issues. And I don't have a lot of health issues, but I do have a few, and they do affect my work. Now, I personally don't like to use my health issues as a crutch, therefore I don't mention it in my TOS. But some people do have in their TOS that they do have chronic health issues, and it will interfere with their work. And fursuit makers are still human, so that means that you need to be comfortable with the idea that they may take a while to work on your suit because of these health issues. That is personal for me isn't completely just my health issues itself, but also because my mom has health issues, and I, as a child, am constantly concerned about her and want to help her. And when she had her 2 hip replacements, goodness gracious, that was a lot. And I don't think people realize how big that was for me, because I was so nervous the entire time about what was going to happen to her, how well she was going to take to it. And then I'm not a certified nurse. I don't know how to take care of her. So anyway, she came home. I had to take care of her, and that put a pause on my fursuit making, which is really why we're here to begin with, because I had to blacklist a customer because of the fact that they were very, very not friendly towards the fact that it took me a while to finish the suit. And I personally take blame for that because I feel like I did not fully explain to them how long suits would take to make, even if the commission seemed simple. I feel like if I would explain that better, maybe things wouldn't be so irritated right now, and it wouldn't have escalated to a point where they had to be blacklisted. But anyway, the point is that fursuit makers do have health issues, and not only that, but personally, some fursuit makers that take commissions are minors that have to take care of their parents that may have health issues as well. And even if they're not minors, they may still have to take care of their parents or close relatives or just someone they care about that has health issues. You really have to understand that this is really a big thing, because most people seem to think that fursuit makers really do not have health issues at all. And I appreciate that flattery, but it's just not true. And on a side note, mental health issues is also an actual legitimate health issue. So even if they may not have a physical health issue, please remember that severe mental illnesses can cause physical issues if ignored. So mental or physical, fursuit makers sometimes have health issues, and you need to consider that when it comes to commissioning them for a suit. So we have come to our last point, which is basically a summary of everything, but a little bit different. Point is, point 5. Okay, how do I say this? I don't want to say this like as an overgeneralization. Alright, so it's kind of like a general term. Fursuit makers are proud people. What sense does that make? Let me explain. Why have I put that there? So, this is not to say like fursuit makers are prideful and lofty or rude or mean. What I'm trying to say here is that this what we do takes a lot of time, craft, love, and energy. And so fursuits mean a lot to most of us, and we don't just make them, push them out, buy. We care about them. So even if it's a commission, I personally have developed a bond with not only the customer that commissioned me, but the actual suit itself. I know I have to ship it off to the customer, and I'm going to, but at the same time, I care about the suit and the customer. So where am I going with this? Going back to the example earlier of the customer that I recently had to blacklisted. This customer told me that if someone ever asked them who made the product that they're going to receive, they said that they would just forget. Basically saying that they would not credit me for the work I did. Now, some people are fine with this, and that's okay. But personally, or if you're, again, concerning commissioning a maker, please try to resolve any issue you may have with them if possible, because it is really not cool to just not credit someone for something they made. I think that fursuit makers are proud, because it really hurt me to hear that someone would purposely forget who made the suit just because they were upset with the way I treated them. And so it's really important to, if you have a disagreement with your seller, or you're just really frustrated with them, please let that be the last thing you do to not give them credit, because it's really hurtful and it can be really offensive. Because I'm not necessarily a prideful person in the sense that I want everybody to know who I am, but if I ever ended up having to sell my personal suits or any custom suit I made, it goes out into the world, I would love to be able to let people know that it at least came from somebody, because there are machine made fursuits too. So please never just assume that it's like really chill just not credit fursuit maker. Like, if you don't know, that's okay. I've seen some fursuits get sold so many times that the credit to the person that was made from can't even find it. But please give credit to the fursuit maker. That is a really important thing, and it hits me deep in my heart, because I really do care a lot about my suits I make. Even if they're not for me, I care a lot about them. And to hear someone say, hey, I'm not going to credit you because I'm upset from you, it's something that that hurts. That really does hurt for me. So please make sure, I'm not sure if all makers share that sentiment, but I'm pretty sure there is a lot of makers that will, because it's something that takes a lot of time. It's kind of like building a relationship with a suit and a customer, because suits take a long time to make. So that's 5 things that we've discussed today about what to consider before buying a custom fursuit. I said 5 points, but let me throw in another one. Point number 6: be respectful to your fursuit maker. I'm not saying like bow down to them and treat them like a god, but they're not your slave. And it's really important to remember, like, again, these people are real people, and these people have lives, but also that the maker, us makers go through a lot. Us makers go through a lot, and there's a lot of complications that may come up while making a suit. I mean, we may not mention to you because it's not your job to know necessarily, because it's a part of coming with a suit. When we took your money, we understood that it was going to take a while, and we understood that there was going to be complications that we're going to try our best to get over because of the fact that you paid and you're waiting for us to finish your suit. But please, I beg, please be patient and respect your maker, because as I mentioned earlier with the blacklisted customer of today, not being patient with them and being mean, it can really affect the want for them to work on your suit. I personally love making suits so much that even if you're mean to me, I would prefer to finish the suit. But in this particular situation, the customer hindered my ability to fully make the suit and then fully enjoy it because of their harsh words and the things that they said. So please make sure to be respectful. I'm not telling you have to say necessarily miss or Mr. or anything, or treat us like we're special, but please be respectful. And that goes for anybody. I mean, even if we're not a fursuit maker, if you're just in Walmart and someone picks something up for you, I mean, why not say thank you? But even for fursuit makers, we work really hard on these suits, and we may go through a lot more than to get these suits done, especially if you have a deadline or something like that. And a lot of us go through a lot. So please be respectful of us when it comes to dealing with us about a suit. If there's something you don't like, please just like, hey man, can we possibly change this? Or hey, I really kind of like, can we tweak this a little bit? Or I didn't really, or if it comes to a direct situation where you guys are in a direct disagreement, try working it out rather than just getting upset and just like throwing a bunch of mean words at people. Try working it out, because most fursuit makers I know, and I think a lot of fursuit makers will share this sentiment, that we would prefer you to work with us than to have us cancel your order, or to get a refund, or to just take off and then talk bad about us later. A lot of us like to be peaceful and don't like conflict and just want to make you your suit. So please make sure to work out any issues with me, with any person you may commission, and so forth. So those are 5 or 6 things to consider before purchasing a suit from me or any other fursuit maker. And I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something new. Leave comments, nice ones please, comments about what you thought about this video, whether or not you're a fursuit maker, and whether or not you agree. So hope you enjoyed. Bye.